Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about team selling. So let's get going. This is the fourth year of the Sales Japan Series podcast, and we are broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku. It is Chic Central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 248. We're talking about selling as a team. When we think of team selling, we imagine a room with buyers on one side of the table and we are lined up on the other. There is another type of team selling that is taking place before we get anywhere near the client. It might be working together as a sales mastermind panel to brainstorm potential clients to target, or strategizing campaigns, or plotting the approach to adopt with a buyer. Salespeople earn their remuneration through a combination of base salary and commission or bonus in Japan. There are very few jobs here in sales which are 100% commission, simply because salespeople don't have to accept that model. There is always a demand here for salespeople, and in fact, the declining population is keeping a lot of dud salespeople afloat. Given there is not much 100% commission selling going on, there is also not so much salesperson competition going on with each other. There is competition, but the losers usually don't get fired, as they might in some Western business environments. So, the opportunity is there to collaborate more on approaches to the client and generating more business. What often happens, though, is salespeople tend to operate from within their own little castles. They have their moat around their existing clients, which they serve, and they spend their time trying to find new clients by themselves. They may have sales managers, but in these modern times, sales managers are expected to produce revenues as well. That means there is a lot of coaching going on. If we have one person looking at the client through the prism of their own experience, things can get a bit thin quickly if that person doesn't have such a wealth of experience. It would be more logical to gather a team of salespeople together and look at the best approach for that client rather than relying on the best efforts of a single person. But we don't do this very often. This tends to be because of a territorial concept where each salesperson has their clients and they should take care of them without wasting anyone's time, especially when they are getting paid a commission or a bonus for the sale. This does make sense at one level, but we are missing out on the sum of the parts being able to exceed the whole here. There is often a cultural issue within sales teams. If you run things with tight individual accountability, it is hard to get other salespeople to assist a colleague. As leaders, we need to establish a framework for teamwork even in a commission-based world of focused individual benefit. The money getting paid out doesn't change, but the time becomes a sticking point. How do we get salespeople to spend time to help others to be more successful? Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Today's show is brought to you by our Professional Leadership Series. On the 3rd of August, we're doing Getting Results Without Authority. On the 6th of August, we're doing Innovation. And on the 24th of August, we're doing Innovation Leadership. Check out our website, www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. And Japan Business Mastery. Both are available on Amazon. And my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be out in 2021. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. And don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. One way to do this is to treat a particular client as a project and pull in other salespeople to work on the best approach. Once the salesperson in question has spoken with the client, then we need to gather the sales mastermind together again and brainstorm what would be the ideal solution. This should be one of the tasks for the sales manager, but often they are swamped with their own clients and trying to keep the whole sales team coordinated and moving forward. Breaking out time for one-on-one discussions may simply not be happening, and the salespeople are often left to their own devices. When we approach this on the project level, the time required becomes contained and less oppressive for the other salespeople. It is also a case of quid pro quo too, because it will be their turn to benefit next time from having more heads than one tackling client problems and helping match the best solutions. This is where the sales manager can play a role, setting up the project teams and monitoring progress. It is good for the salespeople because one day they will become sales managers and will need to introduce similar systems into their own teams. Funnily enough, we often have the experience of learning a lot ourselves when we are working on someone else's problem. We can be too close to our own issues and be blind to aspects which could have an important bearing, but we cannot see the wood for the trees. Somehow, looking at another's problem brings clarity for us about our own contemplations. There are many benefits to using sales masterminds from within the team, working together for the best outcomes for the client. This is an education process going on both up and down the scale of experience as we all come away from the process that little bit better educated in our craft. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.